Welcome to week 3. We have a busy week ahead of us. I'll go over 3 major projects that we're going to do this week, 2 of which you will start. The last one, which you're working on right now, the Finding Your Academic Voice essay, you will actually finish by Wednesday midnight and submit the final draft to Blackboard. Reading journal number 3, which is the first task to be completed here, I'll go and click on this and go over it very briefly with you guys. It's basically a response to the peer review process that you have completed for Finding Your Academic Voice essay. It is a chance for you to privately communicate to me how do you actually went about the peer review process. Was it helpful to you? Was it a hindrance? Was it something that was sort of a hard thing to go through, getting back in touch with different people to get commentary on your drafts? It's 250 to 300 words. And again, it is completely private, so be frank with me about how the process was to you, and we will go with that from there. The style of this is a reflection. It's actually going to be a helpful thing for you to kind of think about, reflect how this has actually sort of informed your writing and the process of revising your Finding Your Academic Voice essay until you until you move forward and write your final reflection in this class, which you're going to host on your ePortfolio final. So that's reading journal number 3, and it's due by Sunday midnight. And of course, as I just stated before, your next step on the tasks of this week are to go ahead and to submit the final draft of Finding Your Academic Voice essay. That's due Wednesday, June the 12th by midnight. And there's actually a link below to submit it to what we call SafeAssign, which is our plagiarism checking tool. You'll need to upload it through this file here. And once you upload it, you have to realize that you will not have the chance to edit your document once you do that. So you must make sure that it has been peer reviewed, that it is revised and prepared for your audience. You must do that because once you upload it to SafeAssign and upload the final draft, there is no return from that point forward. You cannot edit it. And then next, what you'll do is go into discussion 2.1, which is kind of a lead into what we're going to be doing with your research toolbox. And the first thing to do for your research toolbox is to actually pose a research question. I've included a hyperlink here to sample research questions and sort of a form from an off-site website that actually shows you some good research questions to pose and some poor research questions to pose. And for this reading discussion journal, I'm sorry, not a reading journal, this discussion journal 2.1, you are going to be required to not only post your question, but you're also going to be required to respond to someone else's question. The whole point with this discussion forum is to have sort of a debate going back and forth on what makes a good research question, so that by the time you get ready to do your research proposal, you'll have a good research question, sort of debated and peer reviewed by class and myself. Okay, so that was discussion 2.1. We're going to go into setting up your electronic portfolio. Your electronic portfolio, or what we call ePortfolio, is the type of format that you're actually going to host your final on and also upload all of your coursework to. You can see the link below where it says set up your ePortfolio. You can also see that it's a 3-step process. The first step is sort of an ePortfolio introduction, which goes over step by step what is an ePortfolio, why it's important to your writing process. Then step 2 is how to set up your ePortfolio in your Google site, which is a tutorial video that actually shows you the step-by-step process of how to set up and name your Google website, how to set your sharing permissions. And then finally, step 3 is to share your link to your created Google site with me so I can actually have access to it. And that was your ePortfolio. We will be talking about it as class goes on. It's not a major project to think about. It's probably only going to take you about 20 minutes to set up your electronic portfolio. Any of you that have done any blogging in the past will be able to understand that it's a pretty simple, straightforward thing to do. But that's your ePortfolio, and we'll talk about that more as we go into your final. But what I want to talk about now is the research toolbox, um, and moving into that, as this week 3 is a giant transition unit from finding your academic voice essay into the research toolbox, which is a step-by-step way of how to write an advanced research paper. And we will be spending a great deal of class time on this research toolbox, almost a full month, which will lead into Unit 3, which is actually writing the research paper based off of material that you develop in week 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'll actually click on the Submit Research Portfolio. It's actually going to, I'll change this to actually say Research Toolbox. I'll change this to say Research Proposal here in just a few minutes before I publish this, but we'll click on it. It's a very straightforward actual type of assignment. A lot like your mini proposal that was 300 words. The difference with this is based off of your reading that you've done in the textbook chapters. This will be about 2 full pages. You'll need to include at least 3 sources and cite them and integrate them into the body of your proposal. You should have a hypothesis, some form of research question that you want to actually go about answering in the form of a thesis statement or claim. And please include a creative description, a title that's appropriate to your project. And this should be, like any other paper that we write in this class, something that is unique and interesting to your field of your academic discourse community. And this will be basically be designed to help you move about the research project. One thing to note that's kind of important to think about with this project: once you settle on a research question, you're going to basically be married to that question throughout the rest of this course. Not just through Unit 2, but also through Unit 3, because Unit 2 is just sort of a step-by-step process of how to write the research paper. And of course, Unit 3 is actually writing that research paper based on this question that you're developing. So spend some time this week not only debating this question back and forth with each other in discussion 2.1, but also if you want, email me and ask me whether or not this question is something that you think it would be good for you to go about. Because once you settle on that question, you will not have the chance to change that question as class progresses. You're going to have to basically sit through this and use it throughout the semester. So keep that in mind. It's very important to do so too, because I don't want anyone to find a question that they just sort of summarily come up with and then they can't write a passionate paper about. If you click on course content, you see that we have Unit 2, the Research Toolbox, already up. I'll go ahead and click on that. All the assignment sheets for Unit 2, the Research Toolbox, are included under this. That, of course, includes the proposal, which we've just talked about. That's due Sunday, and that's followed by your annotated bibliography. For those of you that have never done an annotated bibliography, it's a fairly straightforward process. Many of you did an annotated bibliography in short for Reading Journal number 2, and you can read the assignment sheet below, but realize that that's another week that we're going to work on that will inform your research paper. And of course, you will have a literature review, which is kind of a miniature essay of about 4 to 5 pages that kind of goes into depth about your sources, about your problems, the problem that you're trying to research within your field. And the research toolbox finishes with a multimodal presentation, which is a visual presentation of your research, your methods to going about your research project. And these different items will then prepare you to write your formal research paper, which is going to be in Unit 3. And we'll talk about that in the coming weeks. Okay, so basically what we have is kind of a busy week ahead for us. You not only have your normal readings along with your discussion form 2.1 and reading journal number 3, but you also have to submit your final draft of Finding Your Academic Voice essay by Wednesday the 12th. and you have to start your research proposal, which is due by Sunday night. And you also have to set up your Google website to host your ePortfolio on, also due by Sunday night. If you have questions, of course, please email me. I'll do my best to answer them. But keep in mind, this is not a self-paced course, and there are no late paper assignments. So those of you who are falling behind are going to continue to fall behind unless you catch up. I'll let you guys know any changes in the class. Until the next screencast, I'll sign off.